Hello and welcome to this webinar sponsored by Trunity. The subject of today's webinar is Authoring in a Digital World, Beyond the Printed Page, Beyond the eBook. My name is Cutler Cleveland. I am the Chief Education Officer for Trunity. I also am a professor in the Department of Earth and Environment at Boston University, where I teach undergraduate and graduate classes in the energy and environmental sciences. I have written a range of textbooks and reference works for publishers such as McGraw-Hill, Wiley, and Elsevier. Most importantly, as it relates to this webinar, I have written several digital textbooks and published other course content on the Trunity eLearning platform, and I use that content in all my classes at Boston University. I will speak to you today with that experience, which, after 25 years in higher education, has transformed the way I conceive, produce, and deliver content to my students. Here's what I'm going to talk about today. First, I'll give an overview of the Trunity eLearning platform. Then I'll talk about the benefits to authors and students of using that platform. I'll then give an online demonstration of the platform and how you can use it to create content. I'll talk about next steps if you're interested in authoring with Trunity, and then show you how I can answer any questions that you might have. Today's students have grown up completely immersed in technology. The iPad, the iPod, the Galaxy Tab, laptops, smartphones. These are the ways they interact with their world. They need a textbook made for the way they learn. We need to go beyond the printed page. We need to go beyond the ebook. We offer a solution to this challenge. Digital content on the Trunity eLearning platform is a gorgeous full-screen experience full of text, interactive diagrams, photos, and videos that engage students and draws them into the content. How does one produce content like this? The Trunity eLearning platform, using cloud-based technology, seamlessly integrates content creation, digital textbooks, and courseware solutions. The platform integrates three important functions. The first is Trunity Author, where one can easily create, publish, and update any form of text, video, animations, photos, or graphics in real time. Next, there's Trunity Classroom. This enables instructors and schools to customize content, effortlessly deliver assignments, assess student understanding, and manage courses. Third, there's Trunity Reader. This leverages the power of the web to engage students and other users with dynamic, rich media content and online collaboration. And all of this is made available anywhere, anytime, on any device via the Trunity mobile app. So how does this work? All content on the Trunity platform is stored in the cloud. Here you see some images from some of the digital textbooks that we've produced. When connected to the web, students and other users can access content with any type of computer or tablet. This experience is indifferent to the type of browser, device, or operating system that you use. Don't have access to the web? No problem. You can download content onto your tablet using the mobile app for offline use, all of which can be done with a single click. So what are some of the benefits to authors for creating content on the Trunity platform? The first is to be able to create diverse educational content, textbooks, labs, modules, assignments, or something else. You can also create inspiring content, including the ability to include interactive, rich media content. You can publish your content just for your class or to the entire world, and we can help you do this. There are powerful, easy-to-use authoring tools that enable you to create this content, and you can update and revise your content in real time. Authors retain considerable control over their content, their brand, and their earning potential, and they retain full copyright to their content. We offer generous royalties and excellent technical and marketing support. But what about the benefits for students? They directly benefit from interactive, rich media content that enhance learning outcomes. They can personalize content with highlights, note-taking, bookmarks, and their own personal bookshelf. The platform has a powerful and customizable search, and as I've already mentioned, students can access content online and offline. And content is always up to date. Students receive alerts from teachers, authors, and publishers when new content is available. The missing ingredients are scholars, educators, and professionals to create this content. This is where you come in. We invite you to join us to provide students with digital textbooks and other content that they won't want to put down. Before I demonstrate how to create your own content on the Trunity platform, I want to show you what a finished product can look like. For that, let's go to the web. I am now online at my introductory textbook on environmental science. My co-author is my colleague Robert Kaufman here at Boston University. The view here is, with a few minor differences, exactly what an author, an instructor, and a student sees when they come to a digital textbook on the Trunity platform. The book has 24 chapters. Note that the chapters spill down the page. The chapter titles are active links. Clicking one takes me to that chapter. Clicking on the arrow next to a chapter spills the contents of that chapter down the page. Again, these are active links that take me directly to that section. The table of contents in the left navigation appears on every page, enabling the user to easily move from one chapter to the next. You can create an interactive glossary for your content. Clicking on the Glossary tab reveals the glossary for the entire textbook. Searching for a term returns the words or phrases that contain that term. Here I'm going to search for the term acid deposition. I'll show you how to build a glossary in just a moment. A powerful search engine makes it easy to find the content that you want. Again, I'll search for the term acid deposition. On the left, I can organize the search results by a number of different filters. Clicking on a search result takes me to the page where the term is found. In this case, we are brought to Chapter 19, whose subject is air pollution. Let's look at the experience of the student by diving into Chapter 1. Here is the landing page for the chapter, which includes the contents of the chapter as well as some student learning objectives. Let's start reading. You immediately experience some important differences between a Trunity digital textbook and other content. This is a map of Easter Island, a case study we use to illustrate the role of environmental degradation and social collapse. Clicking on the image produces a high-resolution graphic with vivid details that enables the student to actually extract geographic information and connect it to the narrative. You can't replicate this experience in print or traditional ebooks. Video is another game changer. It increases engagement and excitement among students, it facilitates collaboration, it is appropriate for disparate learning styles, and it improves student learning outcomes. Here we have embedded a video from the National Geographic channel on the Easter Island collapse. The video is streamed from YouTube, but our platform supports content from all the major video sharing sites. We can even host video content that you produce. Let's play it. I can expand it to full screen. The sound is probably diminished for you because I'm transmitting it through a webinar. Note that the video is embedded directly in the learning sequence. Students do not have to navigate to a separate site or to a separate web page to access this content. This enables students to stay focused on learning. Page-to-page navigation is simple. Just click on the forward and backward arrows in the margin. Students can personalize their content in a number of ways. Highlighting a string of text enables me to add a personal note. If I click on the note that I've just created, it allows me to edit it or delete it. I can bookmark pages that I want to return to later. I can send email to other students and the instructor, and I can create my own personal profile. Well, this has been a quick flyby of the user experience with digital content from Trunity. At this juncture, I want to emphasize one important point. The content you have seen thus far is from a complete textbook, but you do not need to have a full-blown textbook to benefit from the Trunity experience. Some instructors publish lecture notes, assignments, and other content just for distribution to their class. Others write smaller monographs, handbooks, manuals, or readers. Big or small, local or global, the Trunity platform can transform your content into a more engaging experience. I'm now going to show you how to create content. Here I've created a website that is a blank slate. This gear leads to all the editing tools you'll need to create and edit content. Note that the gear only appears when an author or instructor is logged in. Students do not see it. Over here on my desktop, I've created a folder with content that I've developed offline that I'm going to use to build my book. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to give my book a title. I'm going to call it Energy and Society. Let's add an image to my book to increase its visual appeal. And finally, let's add a description that will tell students what it's all about. I've written that overview in a word processor, and I'm just going to copy that and paste it into this editing box. Click Submit, and there you have it. We're off and running. I have a title for my book, a nice overview, and an image associated with it. Now let's add a chapter to my book. I'm going to call my chapter Energy Fundamentals. Again, let's choose an image to associate with this. I have a nice image of a power plant here. And let's add an overview description. I've written that offline in my word processor, so I'm going to copy that and paste it into this editing box. Click Submit, and now my chapter is created. I see that my image did not show up because I forgot to select Show Image on Topic Homepage, an example of the type of customization available to you. Click Submit, and now I have my chapter overview. Note that it shows up in the left navigation, and if I go to the home page, my chapter now shows up on the home page of the book itself. Now let's flesh this chapter out with some content. You can add an article, video, or any content from any page and place it where you want it in your book. I'm going to add an article, a simple text-based piece of content. Here you see the web editor that is the primary interface to create and edit content. It has a simple word processing-like menu with tools that allow you to perform a wide array of functions. You can copy and paste from a word processing document, add a link, create a glossary term, add video, equations, and so on. I'm going to call my article Sustainable Energy. I could just type my text directly into this box and edit it there. I can also go over to my desktop where I prepared the document offline and copy it. Note that this document has formatting, bold, italics, underlined, and so on. I'm going to copy that, click the Paste from Word icon, and click OK. Now my content has been published into this article, and note that the bold and italics and underline have been maintained. Next, I'm going to classify this article, which will place it in the book where I want it. And I want this in the Energy Fundamentals chapter. So I choose that, and I click Create, and now I've created a new article. Again, note the retention of the formatting. If I go to the chapter landing page, I note that my article is there. And if I go to the book landing page and open the Energy Fundamentals chapter, I see my newly created article as well. Now let's add some elements to the article I just created. I prepared a graph on world oil production in Excel that I want to add to my article. So I simply place my cursor where I would like that image to go, pick a template that makes it easy to insert an image, and then locate and upload my graph. Then I can format it if I want to. I can resize it or just use the default sizes that are available to me. Click OK, and now there's my image on world oil production, a nice high-resolution image. Let's start to build a glossary. Let's say I wanted to find the word coal. Well, I go to my glossary that I know exists at the Department of Energy, a nice energy glossary, has a nice definition for coal. I'm going to copy that, go back to my document, click the glossary icon, and paste the definition for coal in there. Click OK. Save the document. My definition for coal is now there, and so is my nice high-resolution image. If I go to the book homepage and click on Textbook Glossary, I see the beginnings of a nice glossary. Let's add some additional content to the article I just created. This article has a quote in it. If I select that quote and go up to the toolbar and click the quote icon, now my quote is in a nice standalone box. How about video? I have identified a video that I'd like to include from this that's on YouTube. It's a video about air pollution in Beijing. To add a YouTube video, all I do is go up to the URL box and copy the identifier. I go back to my article. I place the cursor where I'd like to have the video, and then pick a template for how it should be aligned. Then I just paste in the identifier and click OK. I can change the caption if I'd like to, customize it. And now, if I click Save, I have a video. Again, we can support video from all the major hosting sites, as well as any video that you've created. Okay, let's go back in and edit the article some more. I have an equation that I'd like to add. Put the cursor where I'd like it. I go up to my toolbar and click the equation editor, and here I have a very powerful but easy to use equation editor that allows me to add equations of any type. So I'll add a familiar one, and notice that it shows me below the editing box what it will look like. When I embed it, I click OK, put it in the middle. Now I have an equation. I can also add headings to help organize my content. Let's say I'm going to add a section on life cycle analysis. I select that, and now I can designate it as a first order heading. I like to use case studies. Let me show you how to do that. I'm going to place my cursor where I'd like to place my case study in the flow of text. I'm going to go to my template menu and pick a colored box to make it stand out from the rest of the text. I'm going to give it a title. In this case, it's a case study about nuclear power in France. I've written the case study offline. So I'm going to open that up, copy, and paste that into my box. Let's say I want to add an image to this. So again, I'm going to place my cursor where I'd like it, pick a template. In this case, I'm going to place it to the right, upload the image, scale it to the size that I want, and there you have it. Now I've created a nice little case study with an image, and I can again add a custom caption to describe what's in the image. The Trunity eLearning platform enables you to include self-assessment in any piece of content that you add. Let me show you how to do that. I go up here to my top menu bar and click self-assessment. I can add a multiple choice or free response question. Here I'm going to ask the students, what is life cycle analysis? I have an answer to that already prepared, so I'll copy that and paste it into the suggested response box. I'm going to save my question. And now, at the bottom of my article, I now have a self-assessment question. So when the student is done reading the article, they can check their learning. They see the question, they can type in a response, and then compare their answer to my suggested response. This is a great way for students to check their learning as they go. If we scroll back up through the article, we'll see all the elements that we added. Now you may not want to cram all of this into a single article, but I think you see the point. It's very easy to create dynamic, engaging content in the Trunity eLearning platform. So now we made a great start on our book called Energy and Society. What if I've created other content on the platform and I want to use some of that in my new book? We can do that with something called live cross-publishing. Let me show you how that works. So here's another piece of content I've written called an Energy and Climate, a primer. It's a basic overview of the relationship between energy and climate. The first module in that gives an overview of the nature of climate change. What if I want to use this in my new book? I simply choose the feature called live cross-publishing, which enables me to make a dynamic clone of this module and move it to another site without changing the original content. I can choose a destination where I want to send it, which in this case is Energy and Society, and it also lets me choose where in the new book I want to place it. And let's say I want to place it at the root directory. So I click Submit. It tells me that I've successfully live cross-published it. And now if I go back to my site and click Refresh, you can see that now this new module is now in my book. That's pretty cool. I can also change the learning sequence. Let's say I wanted students to read this module as a backdrop for the entire book. I can go up under my editing cog and click Content Sequence, and now I can move with a simple drag and drop Module 1 ahead of the chapter I just created. Click Save Order and Close. And now the order of the content has been changed. And I can do that sequencing with any content on the platform. One of the great features of publishing on the web is the ability to use internal dynamic links to connect pieces of content that are related. Let's see how that works. I'm going to create an article called Fossil Fuels. I have the content already at hand. I'll just paste that into my editing box and then make sure that the article will be placed where I want it. And then click Save. Now I want my students to read this article first. So I'm going to change the learning sequence, dragging this article to the top. So after they've read the article on fossil fuels and the module on climate change, they're now into the Energy Fundamentals chapter, and we'll be reading the article on sustainable energy. Note that at the very beginning, the term fossil fuels is introduced. I may want to remind students about what that is all about. So I'll edit the article and highlight the term fossil fuels and then click the link. Here I can choose another page in the book to link this concept to. There's my article on fossil fuels. Now when the student comes across this term, they will see that there's a dynamic link as indicated by the blue. They can click on that and be brought back to the article where they can be refreshed on what they had learned previously. Another great feature of publishing in the cloud is the ability to update content in real time. To demonstrate this, I'm going to launch another browser. And I'm going to log into the same book as a student who is using the textbook in a class. This student happens to be named Carl. You can see that name up at the top of the navigation bar. So the student is on the left and the instructor or the author is over here on the right. So let me as a student navigate to this fossil fuels article. And now let's say that as an author I wanted to update this article. There's some new information that came out that is important, or I want to revise some existing content. So I can make a change, large or small. In this case, I'm just adding some text. I'll highlight that so we can see it, and I'm going to click Save. So now the base version of this book has been changed. Go back over here to my student. Carl wakes up the next day, logs into his fossil fuel chapter, and the change has appeared. So this is a very powerful way to keep students and instructors who are using your book up to date with content in real time. The change can be big or small. Let's go back here to my article on fossil fuels. Let's say I decided to add or revise a figure. So I'll add a figure on fossil fuel production that we saw earlier. upload it, so now it's been added to my base version. I click Save. Go back over here to my student version, hit refresh, and now the image has been pushed to the students. So this is a great way for students and instructors to always know that they're up to date with the most current content that the authors have developed, and it empowers authors to update content on a time step that is relevant for them and their particular discipline. The platform has a learning management system that enables instructors who adopt a book to create quizzes and assignments and to communicate with their class. This feature allows instructors to convert your digital textbook into their digital classroom. We are back at my digital textbook on environmental science, but this time we had a version that is used for my class at Boston University. I have created an assignment in which the students read an article titled Tragedy of the Commons and then answer 5 questions about that article. They can do this entirely online. Here you see the assignment and those questions. Let's look at the student experience. On the left, I am again logged in as Carl, a student in this class. I can read the article online by clicking this link. The article has been uploaded to the site for easy student access. Carl can use the text editor to manually enter his answer to the question. Alternatively, he can prepare his answer offline and upload it to the platform in a couple of easy clicks. When Carl saves his submission, it is automatically entered into the gradebook and is available to the instructor for grading. Let's go back to the instructor view. I can view all the submissions by students in the class. I can provide feedback to students that they receive directly on the platform, and then I can enter a grade for the assignment. Going to the top of the page and clicking on the gradebook, I can view all the scores for students who have completed the assignment. Students have their own personal and secure access to their grades. Instructors can add question pools and exams to their digital textbook. The platform supports multiple choice, true false, and multiple answer questions that are automatically graded and recorded in the gradebook, as well as short answer and essay questions that are manually graded. You can build question pools on the platform or upload your existing question pools, and we can help you do that. When an author adds assignments and question pools to a digital textbook, she adds significant value that increases adoptions. Instructors can also customize their adoption by adding their own question pools, quizzes, and assignments. The integration of assessment into the flow of the textbook is an example of the all-in-one experience that makes the Trunity e-learning platform an exceptional learning environment. Now let's talk about support for authors. From start to finish, Trunity assists you in bringing your content to the customer. First, we listen to your vision for the project and then help you translate that into a concrete roadmap. Next, we assist you in getting your content onto the platform. This includes the modest amount of training needed to use the platform. As you've seen, it's pretty simple. Then we help you bring the project to completion, making sure that we fully leverage the features and functionalities the platform has to offer. Last, but certainly not least, we aggressively market your book with web marketing and inbound marketing campaigns. Throughout the entire process, we encourage authors to participate in the conception, production, and marketing of their book. This brings us to the close of this webinar. I hope that you found it informative. As someone who has used the Trunity platform as both an author and as an instructor, I assure you that you won't be disappointed if you engage us to meet your publishing needs. Please follow up by going to our website, www.trunity.com/authoring, or contact me directly at cutler.cleveland@trunity.com. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for joining.